Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 9th, 2020. It's 2:34 a.m. and I'm on my way to the gym right now. The devil is the author of confusion. You know, there's been so many instances or situations, and my morning prayer this morning was one of thankfulness that not only did God lead me in the direction of the right people, and if you really kind of think about the individuals that I am close to, if you really put it in perspective, it wasn't a given that these people would be in my life. One of them, I had to work really hard to gain their trust. Matter of fact, because they knew me, they knew where I came from, and anybody could say, I want help. Anybody could call on somebody and say, hey, you're in a position to do something for me, and expect something to be done. But people who usually are in a position to do something for you are also in a position to see that nothing comes easy and everybody's crying out for help, but only a few want to actually step to the challenge. And so one of them, I had to earn that. But God kept putting it in my heart. I didn't know. I was like, why do I need to be with this individual so bad? Why do I need this person in my life? What is the deal? And this person had been so open to so many other people, and they had just made the same claims that I made, and then fell off. Borrowed money, didn't give it back. Said they would do something, didn't do it. Right? We all want help. We all want assistance. We all want a foot up. But we all don't want to put in that work. And so I had to earn this individual's trust. And I've earned it. I've earned it. Because when I got it, I didn't do anything to jeopardize it. And then the other individuals, I didn't have to earn it as much, but I had to keep it by doing what I said I would do. And I've earned the respect of a lot of people because I do what I said I would do. So none of these things that have happened in my life have been the exact fit. When you look at it, you're like, how did that even come to pass? But my prayer this morning was just a prayer of gratitude that they did come to pass. That they did happen. And all these crazy chance encounters and situations that come to everybody. I'm not special. Well, I am special. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. We're all special. What I'm saying is I'm not the only one that's been given this gift. And because these relationships were not just given to me, I could have just quit on them. I could have been like, hey, this person don't want, ain't really trying to deal with me like that. But there was such a calling. There was such a calling on that relationship. It was so hard that I remember, excuse me. I remember I'm trying to think of the word to use. I remember calling out what I wanted. And I said, I will be a partner with this person. I will I will do business with this person. I will earn their trust. I will have the right to call them and ask them for information and pick their head and pick their brain. I will have that. And I will give it back, and I will be of value. I remember speaking that because I didn't want to just receive. I wanted to give too. I want to be just as much as a value, and I have been since then. But what I'm saying is because they weren't so natural, the relationships weren't just natural, like thrown together, like, oh, this is where we're supposed to be, la, 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 la. It was like one where trust could have been lost really quick, really easy, because it was really hard to gain. And it was the perfect opportunity for the devil to really play the game that he likes to play of confusion, and said, you know what? This relationship isn't all it's cracked up to be, I think, and maybe we ought to do something different. But God said, no, you stay the course, because these are the people I need in your life. You were born to a mother and father, but you will leave them, and you will unite with those who I've also put in this world to bring together the plan. And the devil's job is to create confusion, because he could have easily said, a quick whisper in the ear, I don't think this is going to work. He's not being very receptive to what you're trying to do. And so I'm moved when I see people moving on faith, moving in a direction of things that have not happened, with faith that it will happen. And then I'm equally as crushed when I see people who I know have great vision and insight get caught in confusion. This ain't gonna work. This person's already doing that. I can't make this happen. I got kids. I didn't even graduate high school. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm black. Never mind. The devil won. And a lot of the experiences and a lot of the success stories I can talk about are equally intertwined with as many failure stories. But the common thing that they all have, the common ground that they all share, is that they were just barely by a divine intervention that they even took place. And it was only because I took chances, I took risks, I moved in faith, I was obedient. I refused to let the devil confuse me. I refused to listen to the voice that was telling me that this ain't the way. I've never heard a voice tell me I wasn't supposed to be famous. I had never heard a voice tell me I wasn't supposed to be rich. I never heard a voice tell me that. Because the voice knew that there was nothing that was going to override my destiny. But the voice tried to tell me. The voice tried to tell me to avoid my destination, to avoid the navigation that was getting me to my destination. And it tried to confuse me when I found myself at crossroads where I had to pick, go left or go right. And it would say, well, if you go right, you'll make a bad mistake. Go left, you'll make a bad mistake. So you just stood still. But even though sometimes I may have picked left when I should have went right, left got me right back to where I need to go. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't standing there confused. I just made a decision. And what I've learned is as long as you avoid the confusion, right? Because the devil is the master of confusion. Got you not knowing if you should go left, go right. You know, when you get ready to turn into traffic and you swear you see a car coming down the street, you look again, and by the time you looked again, you done missed your opportunity to turn. Because you're not trusting what you're seeing with your eyes. You don't believe that the coast is clear. You think you're going to get hit, so you won't make the move. And so now you're stuck there for another 5 minutes waiting on traffic to go by. Because the opportunity wasn't this great big old green neon sign blinking saying go, go, go. It's not always going to be that clear. But I can guarantee this. If you decide to go left or right, it will always lead you back to where you're supposed to be. The only time you don't get to where you're supposed to be in your life and in your destiny is when you don't pick either one and you decide to just stay still. I'm just going to stay at the job. I'm just going to stay raising my kids the same way. I'm just going to stay. That the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again in the desperate attempts to get different results. So if I had to share one thing to a young king or young queen coming up right now, don't be scared to make a decision. Any decision. Any. And if I had to share something with anybody that would ask me about how can I get to a level of success in any area of life that I want to, don't be scared to make a decision. And I'll tell you this much, the devil uses other people. And he uses people that you never would have suspected. He'll use family members. He'll use people that you grew up with, that you knew for a long time, and that you thought had your back through thick and thin. And little did you know, they had your back until you decided that you wanted to take a different course in life. And now because you change and they're staying the same, they feel a certain kind of way. They feel left behind. And because the devil was able to work wonders in their life, he uses them as tools, as pawns, to try to wreak havoc in what's going on in your life. But God says, whatever I've loosened on earth, I'll loosen in heaven. And whatever I've given you, can't no man take apart. Whatever God has given you, can't no man take that apart. So you might lose some people along the way. I done lost a lot of people, and I'm at a phase right now where I'm not trying to lose no more. I'm building. So I'm going back to each and every one of them. I'm not saying no sorries or none of that, but I'm going back to each and every one of them saying, if I've done anything wrong, please forgive me. Because I don't want anything that I have done to cause you to slip and fall. But the devil will use them. The people that you thought would encourage you, it won't be them. It won't be them. It won't. They can't. They know you. And they can't wrap their minds around how you came from the same place they came from, but yet you fighting harder than a dog in a fight to get up out of the situation that they still stuck in. How we start at the same point, and yet you making some leeway. Simply put, I made a decision. I wasn't given all the components. I wasn't told how it would end. I wasn't given the step-by-step direction. I just made a decision. I wasn't told it was the right decision. I wasn't told it was the wrong decision. I wasn't given a vision that this will take me to where I need to go. Because there's been so many times I done went the long way just to get to where I need to go. Had I had known, could have saved myself some time. But every decision you make will lead you right back to your destiny. That's why it's smart to ask for a double portion of faith, an obedient heart. And because the devil will do the best he can to try to stop another child of God from getting everything they have to come to him, because he knows, the devil knows he will lose territory, not just in that generation, but for generation. The devil is very fearful of me, because I am not giving up anything. I'm not giving up my kids, and I'm teaching my kids not to give up their kids, and I'm teaching them so that they can teach their kids not to give up their kids. Put your trust in God first and foremost. But that's a different ball game. That's a different story altogether. That's a different story altogether, completely. Completely. But it's possible. And you have to just, simply put, make a decision.